You ever notice how the most successful people you know seem calm? Like genuinely unbothered? Meanwhile, you're running on fumes, chugging coffee at 3 p.m., telling yourself rest is for weekends? Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You're not tired because you work hard. You're tired because you recover like garbage. The people outperforming you aren't tougher. They've just figured out that rest is a weapon, not a weakness. I'm breaking down the strategic recovery method today. 4 core principles that'll turn your downtime into rocket fuel. This isn't about bubble baths and face masks. This is tactical. This is how you build energy reserves so deep that when everyone else is gasping, you're just getting started. Let's get into it. Principle 1, kill the guilt first. You can't rest well when your brain's screaming that you're lazy. That voice in your head saying everyone else is grinding while you take a break, that's not your work ethic talking. That's programming. You've been taught that exhaustion equals dedication. That burnout is a badge of honor. It's garbage. Here's what you do. Before you rest, decide it's strategic. Say it out loud if you have to. I'm resting so I can demolish tomorrow. Because that's the truth. Your brain needs this, like your phone needs charging. You don't feel guilty when your phone's plugged in, do you? You don't call it lazy. You call it necessary. Watch what happens when you reframe it. Taking a nap isn't weakness. It's preparation. Leaving work at 5 p.m. isn't slacking. It's protecting your most valuable asset. Saying no to that extra project isn't fear. It's resource management. The guilt evaporates when you realize rest is part of the work, not separate from it. Elite athletes don't apologize for recovery days. Neither should you. Principle 2. Schedule recovery like it's a client meeting. You know what doesn't work? Saying I'll rest when I have time. You'll never have time. Time doesn't appear. You create it by deciding something matters enough to protect it. Right now, check your calendar. I bet every work deadline is locked in. Every meeting scheduled. But recovery? That's just floating in the ether, happening when you can. Here's the move. Open your calendar right now. Block out your recovery periods, like they're surgeon appointments. Non-negotiable. If someone asks for that time, you're busy. You don't owe them an explanation. I have a commitment is a complete sentence. What does this look like practically? Your morning routine is blocked from 6 to 7 a.m. Your lunch break is actually in your calendar, not just implied. Your evening shutdown is at 6:30 p.m., marked in red. Your Saturday morning is protected. These aren't suggestions. They're infrastructure, because here's what happens when you don't schedule it. Everything else fills the space. Chaos expands to occupy available time. You need walls around your recovery, or it gets swallowed. Principle 3. Stack your recovery modes. Not all rest is created equal. Sitting on the couch scrolling your phone for 2 hours isn't recovery. That's numbing. There's a massive difference. Recovery rebuilds your capacity. Numbing just pauses the pain. You need to know which mode you're actually in. Real recovery comes in 3 types, and you need all of them. Physical recovery, actual sleep, naps, stretching, walking, anything that lets your body repair. Mental recovery, total disconnection from problem solving, no decision fatigue, letting your brain idle. Emotional recovery, processing feelings, connecting with people who fill you up, doing things that remind you why you're alive. Here's how you stack them. Your morning walk hits physical and mental recovery simultaneously. You're moving and you're not thinking about work. Your lunch with a friend who makes you laugh? That's emotional and mental. Your 20-minute afternoon nap? Pure physical gold. See how you can layer these? You don't need 5 hours. You need intentional combinations that hit multiple systems at once. Most people only do one type and wonder why they're still exhausted. You need all 3 feeding each other. Principle 4. Build energy reserves, not just maintenance. Here's where most people screw this up. They rest just enough to not collapse. They're running their tank to empty, filling it to half, running it back to empty. That's survival mode. That's not strategic. You need to build reserves. You need overflow capacity. Think about it like this. When you're only resting enough to function, you've got nothing left for opportunities. Someone offers you an exciting project, you're too tired. A chance to learn something new, you can't handle one more thing. Your best ideas? They require energy you don't have. You're playing defense with your energy instead of offense. Start banking energy. That means sometimes resting when you don't feel like you need it yet. Controversial, I know. Take the afternoon off when you're at 70%, not when you're at 10%. Go to bed early when you could push through. Create surplus. Because when you've got reserves, you're dangerous. You can jump on opportunities nobody else has the gas for. You can take calculated risks. You can sustain intensity that breaks other people. This is what separates elite performers from everyone else. They don't just recover from work, they build capacity beyond what their current work requires. So when the moment comes, when the opportunity hits, when the stakes get high, they've got something in the tank. You're not resting to survive, you're resting to dominate. Principle 5. Measure what actually restores you. You need to get scientific about this. Not everything that feels like rest actually restores you. Some things just burn time. You need data on yourself. What actually gives you energy back versus what just distracts you from how tired you are? Here's the test. After you do something you consider restful, ask yourself, do I feel more capable or just less aware of my exhaustion? That's the difference between restoration and distraction. Netflix for 6 hours might feel restful in the moment, but if you end the night feeling foggy and empty, that's not recovery. That's avoidance wearing a rest mask. Start tracking. Keep a simple note on your phone. What did you do, and how did you actually feel after? Did that yoga class genuinely restore you, or do you just think it should? Did that coffee with your friend leave you energized or drained? Does reading fiction rebuild you, or does it depend on the day? You'll find patterns. Maybe you discover that 20 minutes outside does more for you than an hour of TV. Maybe you realize certain people deplete you even during fun activities. Maybe you find that total silence restores you faster than anything else. Once you know your specific restoration triggers, you can engineer your recovery. You're not guessing anymore. You're not doing what Instagram says should work. You're doing what actually works for your specific nervous system. That's when recovery becomes strategic instead of accidental. The bottom line, look, nobody's giving you permission to rest. You have to take it. You have to decide that your energy is the most valuable thing you own and treat it accordingly. Kill the guilt. Protect the time. Stack your modes. Build reserves. Measure what works. The people winning aren't working more hours than you. They're recovering better. They're showing up with full tanks while everyone else is running on fumes and willpower. That's the advantage. That's what makes you dangerous. Not how much you can endure, but how well you can recover and come back stronger. Try one thing today. Just one. Block one recovery period in your calendar. Take one 20-minute walk. Go to bed 1 hour earlier. Start building this like the competitive advantage it is. Because when you rest strategically, you don't just avoid burnout. You create capacity that changes what's possible for you. Now get out there and rest like your career depends on it. Because it does.